Now I want to show you how to perform a fit test with the software and the Accufit9000. So we previously did a verification check, and actually before that, under administration, we made sure we were working out of whatever database we wanted to work out of here. So I can see I'm at Levitt Safety 2023 database. I could change that under administration database if I needed to, but I'm good there. Did a validation check already, so I checked to make sure there's enough particles that the machine is working okay, and basically generally everything's in place to fit test. So now let's go into a fit test. And on the machine itself, I had it in the original start screen now. Now I've got, it says connected to PC. I've got the COM port and the serial number. If I had up to 4 units connected, I could control them all individually. What I want to do is make sure that I'm using the latest CSA standard. If I'm in Canada or whatever region you're in, make sure you're using the correct standard. I'll put in my initials. I could write my whole name or just my initials in there. Now, for the person, I may have people in here already. Or say if I'm looking and the person's not loaded in there, I can easily add them in here. So let's add in a person. So you really don't need to fill this all in unless you want to. Main thing is last name, first name, and an employee number. And you can put notes down here as well. So if I hit save now, ask me, do I want to save? Yes. That disappears because now that person's gone into the database. You can add the next person and the next person. So now if I look under this, I've got Don McDonald here. Same with respirators. I could, once I have them in this list here, I'm all good. Like it'll be there for the future, but I could also hit new and add in the manufacturer, the model, the type. The main thing, this pass value, that's your the pass mark for the fit factor. So for half face respirators, that is 100. For full face that aren't SCBA related, like they're not SCBA masks, it's 500 per CSA, and for SCBA respirators, it's 1,000. So 100, 500, and 1,000. So I won't do that. I have a full face respirator here. So I'll just choose this one, the 6800, and I'll show you on the screen here. I'll hook up. So there's other videos on how to do this. I won't go into it in detail here. It's kind of probably hard to see it, but you put on the HEPA filter, or the P100 filter, sorry, and the fit test adapter. And I'll probably do this off camera here, but basically what we're doing, every respirator pretty much has a fit test adapter, hook it up, and it's on the mask. You would make sure there's some tests, actually the CSA standard, the newest one, the 2018, asks you to go through steps to make sure the person is comfortable wearing the respirator, things like that. So when everyone's ready and we're actually ready to start, so actually so we have the 6800, let's see here, and we have small, medium, and large. You can also do N95s and stuff like that as well, but this is a medium. Okay, so I'm basically ready to start. So I have the person all hooked up. I'm getting ready to kind of coach them. Now there's a cool feature in the newest software. It actually walks them through the test. So I'll start this. We can watch what happens here.
Please take normal breaths.
So as you can hear, if you have your computer turned up, you can hear the computer will actually walk them through. So on the screen of the Accufit, in front of the person being tested, it'll say the instructions, normal breathing. But the computer actually reads out, and you can coach them as well, but the computer is coaching.
10 seconds left.
Okay, so the next exercise will be deep breathing.
Please take deep breaths.
So you want the person being tested to have the respirator on and breathe deeply during this section. And we can see as we're watching this, I'm watching the background particles here. The unit is sampling inside the mask now.
10 seconds
getting
left.
Close to 0. when it's taking the measurement inside the mask. Now the next one will be turn your head side to side.
Please turn your head side to side.
So it's sampling outside around the person now. That's the particles around them. Then it'll switch about halfway through. It starts to sample inside the mask. Now turn your head side to side. They want to turn, take a breath, not to bump the filters off their shoulders. Turn the other way, turn their head the other way and take a breath. Same thing. They don't
10
want to do it
seconds
quickly.
left.
They don't want to cause a leak just from moving too quickly. Head up, nod head up and down. Same thing. Look up
Please
in the
move your
air
head up and down.
and then look down, but don't hit the filters off their chest. Slow movement. And I'm still watching this now. At any point, now maybe in this first section, if we barely passed, these other sections get harder to pass, like talk out loud and bending over. Now the whole test is only
10
3.5
seconds
minutes,
left.
so that's not so bad. But if they get a very low fit factor here, and that's a measurement of the fit. So for this full face respirators, it's a 3M
Please
6800.
talk out
The
loud.
pass mark is 500. I mean, we're doing more than well here, but if they just barely passed on normal breathing, I may stop the test, readjust it to hopefully get a better reading. So these again are now all we have to do for this mask is to pass 500.
10 seconds left.
Okay, so we're doing the talk out loud. There's a passage called the rainbow passage that is very common to get people to read. But
Please bend over.
I talked to a lot of fit test people that say they get people to count or tell them about their last holiday, something like that. Bending over, that's to kind of, if someone normally stands up working and is bending over to pick things up, you want them to simulate that type of a
10
test, like
seconds
stand up and do
left.
it. It's to basically have the mask kind of hang off their face to see if it generates a leak.
Please take normal breaths.
Okay, so normal breathing again. This is kind of the last test here. So we can feel pretty comfortable about passing this test based on these measurements. In real life, it could be quite a bit lower than this, depending on the fit again of how well it's actually fitting the person being tested. Now,
10
at
seconds
some
left.
reason, if I needed to stop, I could stop these now. I could start a new test. I can print the results after this is over. So I'll let this continue. I really like the new feature of the computer reading out. Now, if you don't like it, you can always turn down the volume on your computer and just coach without the help of the computer. So fit test complete, we have a pass. I'll show you now if I hit this, I'll exit out of here. Okay, I can go into administration, I can go into reports. And so the first tab here is all the people that are in this database right now, the respirators, the protocol. The fit test is actually stored here. So the one I just did right now was here. And if I want to see it, now I could print this test report that I'm going to show you. There is an optional card printer that prints something like a plastic little, it's almost like a driver's license, that it has the details on the respirator. But if I hit preview here, okay, I can bring this up and I'll show you what it looks like. So it has the information on the person and the respirator and all the measurements. So that's a quick overview of how to do a fit test with the Accufit 9000 and with the software.